Elisheva is the woman that I have been given to research and learn in depth about how she is inspirational and strong. Elisheva is rarely mentioned in the Torah, but the first time and basically only time we see her name appear is in Parshat Shmot, Perek Kaf Gimel, as it says, Aaron took to wife Elisheva, daughter of Aminadav and sister of Nachshon, and she bore him Nadav and Avihu, Elazar and Itamar. We never heard her name mentioned before. What family and line did Elisheva come from? The Torah clearly states in the Pasuk that she is the one who got married to Aaron, who is the daughter of Aminadav and the sister of Nachshon. But who really is she? What is so special about her to get to marry Aaron, a tzaddik and leader of the Jewish people? The first part of answering this question is seeing who her family and what line she comes from. You may notice that the Torah went to detail to explain her family line, but it is interesting to note that not only did the pasuk mention who her father was, but also who her brother is, Nachshon. This may seem a bit extra and unnecessary, but of course, the Torah did it for a reason. In the Gemara Baba Batra, it points out that Aaron investigated her brother and then took her for a wife. This is the source for the idea of investigating the brothers of a potential bride. The Talmud says, most girls are very similar in nature to their brothers, and therefore, looking at the brothers can provide crucial insight into the nature of a potential wife. The characteristics and merits of Elisheva. The first thing to mention is that her family and the family she just married into is from a rich line of leadership and kingship. As we just mentioned, she is married to Aaron, which by itself is a great merit. The next thing is that her brother-in-law Moshe, the leader of the Jewish people. Also, she is from the tribe of Yehuda, which is the line of kingship and leadership, and she is going to be related to David HaMelech. Of course, the next thing is that her brother Nachshon, who exhibited unbelievable trust in Hashem when he walked into the Nile to make it split, is another incredible merit. From all sides, Elisheva clearly has special merit to be part of such an incredible, righteous family. The Torah does not specifically describe Elisheva and her personality, but there is a story that is pointed out that may seem insignificant, but looking deeper, we can learn a great deal from it. It says in Zvachim that on the 8th day of building the Mishkan, that Elisheva had 5 major joys and simchos. First it says, she was joyous because she is the sister-in-law of Moshe. The second is that she got to be the wife of Aaron, the Kohen Gadol. The third is that one of her sons, Elazar, was to be the next Kohen Gadol. The fourth is that her grandson Pinchas got anointed for war. And finally, the fifth is that her brother Nachshon was the prince of the tribe of Yehuda. All of these surely brings family honor, shows closeness to Hashem, and something that anyone would have been in complete happiness for forever. But on a very different note, something very tragic happened that very same day as well. Elisheva and Aaron's 2 sons, Nadav and Avihu, die an instant death. As we can imagine, Elisheva's great joy on those 5 crowns that were attained by her relatives was instantly turned to bitter tears and mourning for her 2 sons. From this story alone, we learn a great deal about Elisheva. To begin looking into this, the Mishnah points out that actually Elisheva did not enjoy happiness in her lifetime, despite all the greatness that it was and continued to come from it. We learn from here that Elisheva had the awareness of incompleteness and imperfection that she must live with. Even though she had such power, righteousness, and kingship in her family, the moment her sons died, she scribbles that out, pushes it away, and mourns. She instantly became sad and stopped the celebrating. She has the awareness to be able to look at life as the glass half full and half empty. Not only does this teach us about Elisheva's truism to life, but also teaches us a very wise concept. There's a midrash in Tehillim that says, she enjoyed many joys in one day, and then, in the end, had to mourn for her two sons that very day. We see later King David advises, don't take too much pleasure in this world. It is fleeting and can go as fast as it comes. Elisheva showed this concept because in her life she experienced both extreme highs, or pleasures as King David noted, but along with that, the lows of life. The Midrash uses her as a model to show a balance, that we cannot allow fear or pain or sadness to overwhelm us. But contrary to what some people say, we must face reality and know that they exist. I know I personally need to always remember that life has its ups and downs. No matter how great something may seem, I need to remember that in a fleeting moment, that joy can be countered and turned around by something sad. We cannot ever get comfortable with one extreme emotion for the positive or for the negative, and that life and something we all need to work on accepting, because this is life. Elisheva lives on after the tragedy of the deaths of her two sons. She continues to experience joy and sadness. She's able to experience both, but neither of them can be untouched by the other side. She's a human who copes with life. Elisheva's name also teaches us something about her character. The name Elisheva can mean either my God has sworn an oath, or it can mean my God has satisfied. What is the oath that is sworn? It means that God will remain our God through the ages, through happy and good times in our life, and through bad, sad, and tragic parts of life. And in what ways Elisheva satisfied? Means that she has a lot of good in her life, which enabled her and gave her the strength to deal with also the bad. Elisheva shows us and teaches that no one gets away with a life that has no loss and no pain. Even if you appear to have everything, it can all be taken away in a heartbeat. Very importantly, Elisheva reminds us that the relationship not only underpin our lives, but they provide connection, the ability to fill us with emotion, and the place to be ourselves. Everything else will pass. Elisheva is clearly a role model, a woman with strong character and spiritual being who is close to Hashem.